Hello, I'm Lauren Konkar-Sheehy. The Garden State Film Festival promotes student creativity, makes the arts accessible to underserved populations, and preserves the heritage arts. Welcome to the Garden State Film Festival podcast, where we bring to you industry professionals, filmmakers, and game changers like you, Jamie, in our industry. We're connecting you with phenomenal and diverse groups of people who we respect and admire. By the way, this year's our 20th anniversary. For 20 years, the Garden State Film Festival has been showcasing Jersey talent and bringing outstanding talent to Jersey from the world. So I am the executive director of the Garden State Film Festival, Lauren Konkar-Sheehy. Say that 10 times fast. And I'm here today with Associate Director David Schoner Jr., Associate Director of the Motion Picture and Television Commission. And our special guest is Jamie Payne, owner of Palisade Stages, which is a phenomenal, outstandingly beautiful soundstage. Amazing.
I won't go that far.
Oh,
No,
it is.
It's massive.
So Lauren is actually toward the stage. But So I just want to talk a minute about Palisade. So Palisade Stage is located in Kearney, New Jersey. It's a 29,000 square foot studio with internal offices, green rooms, and multiple adjoining multi-purpose areas. The ceiling height is 32 feet high, ceilings with 3 loading docks and one, most important thing, a drive-in loading dock. So you literally can drive into the stage. Yeah. Very important. There's also high-end office and support space available whenever production needs it. And the biggest thing that it has, which everyone always needs because they're in Jersey, is parking. It is tons of parking.
It's surprising after being in New York how crucial parking is. Everyone wants it just because of every film production. There's so many cars, crew cars, transportation. So yeah, it does have everything.
So welcome to the Garden State Film Festival.
Yeah, I'm extraordinarily nervous, but I'll try my
best. No, amazing. Don't be nervous. Come on, you know us.
You do. They took the tour.
Yeah.
So, one of the things we always try to focus in on is, so give us a little background before we get to the stage component. Give us a little background, how you started in the business, what it's yes.
Oh, I didn't even prepare for this. So I've been in the film industry for just under 20 years, but I was working in post-production. So I was what they call in the UK a telecine operator, which you call here a colorist.
Right.
So yes, I was a colorist, and then when HD dailies became a thing, I set up a HD dailies department for the movie was Sahara. Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Yeah. So we set up, so obviously in England, it's the UK PAL system. So we was going from HD and 3.2 pull down for the Avid deliverables. And then ever since then, I started working on all the tentpole movies. So a few Christopher Nolan movies, Bond, a couple of Tim Burton movies. And I was very lucky, especially you can imagine what it's like handling IMAX negative shot.
Yes.
That was one of the Batman movies. No, that was awesome. I did try and steal an actual frame of that, but they wasn't having it. So I did that, and then a company in America wanted to do exactly the same thing, HD dailies, because now it's a DIT.
Yes.
So I merged into a DIT, and then I had a bit of an epiphany. There was no film studios in Jersey, which is the state that I moved into. So then I'd done an awful lot of research, took a risk, and built a fully sound mitigated soundstage.
So exciting. But everything started here and not Hollywood.
That's true.
Well, I think that, without getting too deep into it, I think that the actual narrative has changed. It was always New York. But ever since the streaming platforms have taken a huge chunk of the market, we've gone from movies to actually TV shows.
Right.
So there's an awful lot of TV shows, and New Jersey has everything location-wise. It's probably, January the 5th today?
Yes.
Okay, January the 5th, I'm pretty sure Cobble Hill and Boreham Hill are now hot zones already. You're not going to get that too quickly here in Jersey. So within half an hour, you can be in the middle of New York, or you can be in the countryside, or you can be at the coast. It has everything, because a lot of these TV shows, it's all location-based.
And it's interesting, because the tax incentive is allowing people like you to do brick and mortar because you're not going to have the brick and mortar unless you have a tax incentive that is going to bring in a constant stream of film production to the state.
Yeah, well, I think that's where New Jersey was, and we have to credit Governor Phil Murphy for this. I mean, this is where he was really smart. He realised that this was an opportunity here because there was not really many states who were offering the film tax credit, and then he realised, whoa, states like Georgia.
Right.
They're shooting so much they're having to go into the future years tax credit allowance. So now everything here in Jersey, it's going to explode.
It is.
Well, we can feel it already. It's
Yeah.
already, but it's really going to mushroom. Really going to mushroom because we have everything to offer here, and it's becoming more and more difficult.
My job.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great.
It is
I
becoming
love
more
it.
and more difficult to film in New York because when you film in New York, there's been a couple of shows upstate, like in Saugerties and Escape to Dannemora was almost up at the border of Canada, but mostly it's New York City based or Brooklyn. Logistically, it's extraordinarily difficult now.
And I think one of the great things about where you're centered, you're in Kearny, New Jersey, which is it's a great central point. You've got mass transportation there. You've got parking there. It's an easy in and out of the city because a lot of people do still live in the city. But also if you're in New Jersey, it's an easy drive too.
Well, it's just like when I just recently moved to Montclair, the real estate agent said location, location, location. And it's the same with the studio. All the talent are probably going to stay in Midtown, downtown. So we're 20 minutes from the tunnel on the other side. All the infrastructure's there. It is literally the perfect location. And the actual campus, it's great because it has all the support space. We're going to be expanding. So it's really exciting times.
So just walk us through, and we don't need to get into the little minutia, but walk us through. You took a building and you're going to make it you're going to work it so that it is ready for a film production to come in. What was that process?
Well, there's three kinds. I would say there's three types of inside areas that you'd shoot in. One is a raw space, one is a retrofitted space, and one is a purpose-built space. So if you want a purpose-built space, you have to have extraordinarily deep pockets. So what we've done is that we've retrofitted a pre-existing warehouse space. Now, as you know, here in Jersey, there is a dearth. And there's an even smaller amount of spaces that are suitable for shooting TV and film. So we have the height, we have the size, we have the location, we have the logistics. So we're taking a warehouse space, and we've completely sound mitigated it, installed a pipe grid, and made sure it's perfect for the high-end studio shoots. So we can have smaller shoots in there, but a 23,000 square foot soundstage lends itself more to a TV show or a movie.
Well, and let's talk about a recent movie because I know obviously we worked on it. Was the show, the NBC Universal show Bros?
Yeah.
And so, what did they do when they came in? Were they building sets, which is, I guess, typically the case?
Yeah, well, this particular production was a little bit different from most, I think, because they kept it all underneath one roof.
Okay.
So it was quite location heavy, but they had approximately 7 days shooting on the stage. So what they did was that they built a sound stage, and then all around it they had the various shops, construction, scenic, and set deck. So they utilised the space every single square inch. And inside the space, they built a New York City apartment. I mean, it sounds really cliche, but when you actually go on set, it's like, oh, this is how they do it. It looks so good. Those like scenic guys, how they can create something that looks perfect when you're right up next to it is incredible. It really is incredible.
It's amazing. And one of the things I just want to digress a little bit because I found it fascinating when you were talking about your intro here is when you were talking about actually touching film. Mm-hmm. Because obviously the nature of this beast has totally changed when we were talking about streaming, and obviously that it is digital. Most productions, granted, we have some like West Side Story that shoot on film, but most of it's doing digital. So what was it like, from that film component when you were touching film compared?
Well, apart from the actual tactile image of it, so when they shoot the film, so I'm trying to think of an example. So Green Zone, which was a Matt Damon movie, where Paul Greengrass was the director.
And we worked with him on United 93 when he filmed in New Jersey.
He's a very nice man, actually.
Yes, he is.
We had fun at the rap party. So they shot mostly in Morocco, They would bring they would fly over, they would develop it. I would be the person at the back of the lab who would be handling this beautiful 35mm negative, stacks of cans in 2,000 foot rolls. Then you hang it onto a telecine machine, which is basically a complicated scanner.
Yeah.
And then in real time, you can adjust the size, adjust the colors, and you're in constant communication with the DP. You're creating the basic look, which is then built on when they do the actual final color time. I enjoy handling the film, but when I was handling hard disks, it was almost essentially the same process. Sounds like cliche, but I'm a guardian of the image. I have to make sure that every single frame. And then back in the day when they was first starting digital, you didn't really know what you put in, you was going to get out. But ever since the Arri Alexa came out, that was it. It was a game over. Those boys at Arri really knew their stuff.
Yes, I know.
But it's essentially the same thing, though. I think a lot of people get wrapped in, we must have more resolution, or we must have this, we must have that. All the best DPs, they say resolution doesn't make a movie.
Right.
Not at all. Even just like simply capturing it.
So when you went from that transition, how did the transition go to wanting to do a studio for you? Where was that mindset? Not
passion.
Yes.
Well, the passion is. I mean, everyone in this industry, we all want to be part of a nice project, whether it's a great show or a great movie that you can watch and you enjoy, like with the kids and the family, or one of those movies that it means so much to you. And it's essentially that. And then moving to Jersey, I had to try Taylor ham. I didn't have that until very recently.
Poor girl.
Yeah, I didn't see the fuss of it personally.
No.
But I think you just want to be part of the process, you know? You want to be part of this long chain of people. Because there's a whole backlog of people who are behind the camera, who need to be there to make this movie or to make this TV show. Crafty set deck,
right.
DPs, camera assistants, boom operators. Like there's a whole bunch, and I'm just simply one of them.
Great. Part of what the Garden State Film Festival does, and part of what we're always about, it's about mentoring, and we like to inform people about how they got into the industry. I know you talked about your history, but what drove you to do that? Because it's a very particular piece of business you're talking about here that you got into.
Drove to get into the studio business?
Yeah, well, no.
And the transition, even
and the
before.
transition when you started, when you were over in England, and what got you into that? What?
Well, I came over here because someone offered me the same position here. Because
Okay.
They wanted to grow just to get into the DIT dailies world, because then that opens up all the color timing after it, all the final finishing, all the final audio. So it was into that. But when my family and I moved to Jersey, it was a light bulb moment. I was working. I was like, there's no film studios here in Jersey. I don't understand why. I soon realised how difficult it could be just to get actual physical space, but Jersey has everything. It really does have everything. I think 10 years there was, as I said, the narrative, we've got to be in the city or we've got to be in LA. I mean, if you shoot in LA, you're on the back lot.
Yes.
Or you're in the desert.
Yes.
Whereas Jersey has everything. It really does. So the actual transition, the actual thought process was extraordinarily simple. It was a light bulb moment.
Okay.
The actual physical process was extraordinarily difficult.
But I think it really started with that moment, and that all of a sudden that passion shifted into, no, I want to do this. And I know what it took and how long it took you to get there.
Right.
But at the same time, you're driven, and we talk about this for our filmmakers all the time. It's about persistence, dedication, and that drive to get you there.
Well, I think it was the guy who the Ford Motor Company guy who said, if it looks like work, it is work. You shouldn't be put off by it.
Right.
You'll always get there. If I can get to where I want to be, anybody can.
Yes.
I'm not special by any stretch of the imagination. I was just someone in a small cog of a lot of productions, but there's not many people who can say that they've handled IMAX movie from a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah.
I'm not special. It was just the right place at the right time. So now I own a studio where we shot the Bros movie, and we have another production coming in, which I've had to sign an NDA, but we have another one coming in. I'm just super amped, super excited. It's always nice to work with good creative directors.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, you are special, because to have that brain to do the color correction and everything in DIT, I think actually people don't understand how important the DIT is now for later. Everything that's happening now, and if it is wrong, what that means in the chain of everything.
Yeah, it's all about protecting the negative. I still call it a negative.
Yeah.
But it's like a digital negative. But it's just incredible when one of the first RE cameras, the actual hard drive was literally 8 inches by 8 inches by 12 inches. Now they're on a thumb drive.
Yeah.
Right.
It's insane. Like the technology has changed immensely, but the actual craft hasn't. It's exactly the same.
Right.
It's exactly the same. Roger Deakins, who's I would say one of the best cinematographers, he still handles his cameras physically. He moves the lights around the set. I've been on set. He was fantastic.
You know, one of the things I really admire about Jamie is that he has an extreme attention to detail.
Yes.
And you think about the business of doing, you know, when you're handling the film and the telecine and stuff like that, there is a lot of attention to detail with that. And it's not a typical, I mean, you know, everybody wants to be a director, producer, all that kind of stuff, but that is extreme attention to detail.
Yeah, but that detail has only come because I started out making coffee.
Yeah, but that's amazing because,
Yes.
sorry, kids today, you have to listen like what we said before and don't think you're going to walk in and then start directing. You don't know anything.
No, I can,
You have to-
but I can see why you'd want to get ahead because it's so exciting.
yes.
But what you call a PA here, we call runners in England. And I started out making cups of tea and just making and then work through.
Observe and see it.
And that's how you learn. You always learn by your mistakes. I had to tell the guys who used to work for me, anyone makes a mistake. Make a mistake, just let me know and learn from it.
Right.
Yes, right, correct.
Right.
Just don't do it 3 times.
So was there a person or someone that was, because we talk always about mentoring, we're really driving this home about this mentoring. Was there someone in that process when you were just a runner, because we're going to use the British term right
Yeah.
now, when you're the runner, was there someone that was mentoring you, that was pushing you or gave you that opportunity? Is there a particular
There's
person?
no particular person, but I guess for anyone who works in this industry, you always meet someone who's like-minded. So I met a lot of engineers, a lot of telecine operators, like colorists, a lot of sound guys throughout the way. And they was just all like really nice people. But I did what I wanted to do. One of the people who actually I've just thought about, and this isn't a name drop at all, but I was helping a colorist grade The Corpse Bride with Tim Burton. He was a very nice man. But Tim Burton, big-time director, must meet 1,000 people a day. He actually said, "Oh, what's your name?" I said, "Oh, my name is Jamie." And he asked me again, just so he remembered my name. And I'm like, wow, that's a real nice touch.
Right.
Then it gives you, okay, not everyone's not a very nice person.
Yes.
There are some really nice people out there. And I would say, if you meet someone who's honest and is willing to show you how to learn the trade, stick with them.
Yep.
Great.
I did.
Great.
And now I'm in sunny Jersey.
Yes, and I know we're looking forward to the next production coming in. We're not going to talk about it yet, but
It's exciting.
It's going to be exciting.
It's exciting, yeah.
So,
I think that this is it for Jersey. I really do. I think you guys have done all the hard work. You've laid down all the groundwork for people like me who can come in here on your coattails. And I mean that sincerely. If it wasn't for people like you, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you. That means something. Hold on. This is going to be our 20th year, and every year we're like, what's wrong with us? Why do we do this? Oh my gosh. But it's so important. What you do is so important. When you walk into your soundstage, you can feel the hard work and dedication that went into every single area. I love the yellow. I love all the safety things in there. It's really, really amazing. Outstanding.
Well, then you have an open invitation when the new production starts building their sets just to come have a little walk around, and it's going to be fun.
Oh
It
my
is
God,
going to be
I can't
fun.
wait to know. Perfect. Awesome. And with that, we have to wrap it up. I just wanted to add that movies are the strongest form of magic, and we will not be placed on pause. Let's keep the magic going and help us continue to inspire our fans, students, and seniors to be safe and creative. We are ready for 2022. It's our 20th anniversary. It takes a community to make a movie and an even larger community to sustain and support the independent spirit we keep alive at the Garden State Film Festival. So if you can, go to gsff.org and become a sponsor or make a donation today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.